Before any event begins, we would like to thank the people who have made this possible, our partners. So, thanks to our title sponsor, Jainam Broking Limited. Thank you to our associate sponsors, Anand Bhai Tulsian, Lexicon Legal, Favsi, Anupam Rasyan. Thank you to our supporting sponsors, Jai Air, KSL, Magic Grid, Ruchi Group. Thank you to our supporting partner, SGCCI. Thank you to our knowledge partner, Basic Roots, sustainability partner, Growlity, quiz partner, Logic Wind, and our flower partner, Floral Hub. All right, that's the round of gratitude we begin our event with. Moving further, this is the second time that the city of Surat, the city of diamonds, textiles, bridges, and dreams, is hosting the TiECon after a very successful round last year. A city that not only quenches your hunger with absolutely delicious food, but also quenches your vision and your thirst for growth, success, and progress. Before we fasten our seat belts for the ride, all right, moving further, we're actually going to start the event now. TiECon Surat 2023 officially begins here. Calling upon the stage the man of the hour to kickstart TiECon 2023 with the highest of spirits possible. I would like to invite Mr. Kashyap Pandya, a planner by profession, a writer at heart, an entrepreneur in spirit. Mr. Kashyap is the founder of Syncoro Ventures and the co-founder of Unisync Limited, Unisync Angels. He is an integral part of Surat's startup ecosystem with a mission to build a vibrant startup ecosystem in the city and other Tier 2 cities in India. Mr. Kashyap passionately works with founders to build innovative ventures. He is also the director of KSL Consulting, and he has authored a book titled From Idea to Action, The Art of Writing a Business Plan. Let's welcome the multifaceted, multi-talented, always energetic, and the super cool Mr. Kashyap Pandya, President of TiE Surat, on stage.
Welcome, friends. It's an absolute honor to welcome each one of you today. This is a remarkable gathering, a convergence that celebrates the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship. So on behalf of TiE Surat, I welcome all of you. We are absolutely thrilled that we have with us today Rakesh Bhai Kamdar from TiE Boston, who is the Vice Chair of TiE Global Board of Trustees, Tartiben Desai from TiE New York. She is a member of TiE Global Board of Trustees. Thank you so much for being here. I would also like to welcome our dear friend Mahaviri Pratap Sharma, who is the chair of TiE India Angel and former chair of TiE Global Board of Trustees. He has been our chapter mentor and a friend. Thank you, Mahavirji. Always a pleasure. Friends, we also have TiE leaders from across India today. We have 5 chapter presidents from across India today to attend TiECon Surat. Our neighboring chapter, Nilesh Bhai Shukla, President of TiE Vadodara, Vinay Bhai Rathi, President TiE Udaipur, Jai Jain, President TiE Madhya Pradesh, thank you Jai, Ravi Ishwarapu, President TiE Vizag, and S.K. Arora, President-elect TiE Chandigarh. Thank you so much guys for being in Surat today and to support us. Friends, tomorrow we'll have 2 more TiE Global Board members joining us. Murli Bukapatnam from TiE Hyderabad, who is also a TiE board member, and Amit Mukim from TiE Mumbai, who is just elected as a TiE Global Board member. Along with them, we'll have 2 more TiE presidents, Rashida bin Edenwala, President TiE Hyderabad, and Dr. Sheenu Jawar, President TiE Rajasthan, who will be joining us tomorrow. So friends, 12 TiE global leaders in TiECon Surat itself is an achievement. I think કંઈક તો મેં સારું કરીએ છે રાકેશભાઈ. Okay. So when Rakesh Bhai called me yesterday, so Rakesh Bhai had a family wedding. So he called me yesterday, Kashyap Bhai, 2 કલાક છે, ક્યારે આવું? So it's absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Rakesh Bhai. I would also like to give special welcome to Team TiE Pune, Uh, Thank you so much, guys. We have a special bond with TiE Pune. Since our inception, TiE Pune has been absolutely supportive in growing this chapter. So thank you so much, guys. We are missing Kiranji and Vinit Patni and other charter members. Okay, but we are looking forward to host them very soon. Rakesh bhai, whatever good things you hear about TiE Surat, the credit goes to TiE Pune. We have learned a lot of things from them. They have been our friends, mentor, and fellow. Thank you so much, guys. So I think it's very rare that in a TiECon, which is a chapter level event, we have 4 global board members and so many presidents and leaders attending. So I think we are truly fortunate to welcome you all. So big round of applause for all the TiE global leaders. I would also like to welcome all our industry leaders from Surat, TiE charter members, startup founders, angel investors, our sponsors, and everyone. So I think this is our second edition of TiECon. First edition, we did it at the same place last year, first edition of TiECon. This is the second time we are doing it. So sometimes we wonder, how did this happen? You know? So we consider Surat chapter is like a startup. So when we started in July 2019, we kind of in an idea stage. We were just figuring out ke su karu. Okay? Sanjay Bhai Punjabi was the founder president. And we tried few things, some things worked, something, then COVID struck. But still, we could manage and we could establish our presence in this city. So we crossed that idea stage, and then I was given the responsibility to, lead the chapter in July 2021. So we started experimenting more, and I think probably we entered the validation stage, where we tried few things, something worked, and we started creating success stories. So I think in the last 2.5 years, now if you ask us, we can tell you that yes, there are few things that we are doing probably right, so that our associate members are now growing their ventures, raising funds, and very successfully leading their ventures. And Dhartiben, you will be super proud to know this. I think you were our guest when we launched TiE Women chapter in TiE Women competition in 2019. So I think, friends, probably TiE Surat is the only chapter globally where the last 3 chapter winners went on to raise funds. So 2021, Nishma Singhal, she went on to raise 2 rounds of funds. Last year's winner, Parini Kapadia, she raised 32 crore from VCs. And this year's winner, Priyanka, she recently raised 42 crores. So I think these are the impact that we are creating. Now, we don't want to take credit of what they are doing. It is their idea, their hard work. We are just happy and proud. We are happy for them, and we are proud that TiE gave us an opportunity to interact with this wonderful set of people. So a lot of time people ask us, TiE, what is TiE? And, TiE such, and how TiE is different than, kind of other organizations, okay? And why you are associated with TiE? So sometimes we try to, answer that question. Okay, is this a kind of a think tank where we publish research reports and do events? It's not. It's not an industry association where we, kind of influence policy decisions. Probably not. It's not a networking organization where you, look for businesses. So what is TiE? TiE is all about fostering entrepreneurship. TiE is all about creating impact. Not just talks, but genuine impact, and that we can see. And that's why I think we'll also talk about the KPMG impact report when we have our session. So how it is different, and so we were as a charter member, sometimes we wonder that what is that is so unique about this organization. So I started interacting with a lot of charter members from across the chapters, and that I thought, let me understand what are the words or phrases that they use when they talk about TiE. I think 3 common things that came up, very interestingly. Firstly, they all said that how in all TiE chapters, people work selflessly. Now, this is something we are also very curious, and this is something almost all charter members wonder, that when they join TiE, any organization, they always say, what is for me? And when they see people working in TiE, selflessly creating impact, then we wonder, that what is so unique about this organization where the people work selflessly for this organization. And Dhartiman, we would certainly like to know Rakesh Bhai's story from you also, because I think, we'll be very curious to know that. Right? And I think we work with TiE Pune chapter very closely for TiE Nurture program. So we experienced that firsthand, working selflessly without a hidden agenda. Two, most of the charter member will always say that whenever they interact with TiE members, they'll say, I think we should learn how to be humble. So when we attend all the TiECons and TiE events across the world, the TiE members all are achievers from different fields. But they are so humble, so down to earth. I think all the other charter members are very, very, kind of curious that how did TiE manages to do that? I think this is very unique about an organization. And thirdly, and most importantly, one common thing that everyone said that whenever we interact with TiE leaders across the world, they always use the word we, never I. Now, this is something that makes, a different organization. They always use we. I think probably main word is not there in the TiE dictionary. It's always hum, and which is very, very unique. And I think that is the DNA of probably TiE. And at this TiECon, we would like to promise on behalf of TiE Surat to all the TiE global leaders that we'll try to, stick to this very DNA of TiE, working selflessly to create impact. I think that's what we would like to do, and we'll ensure that we keep doing it in future. So TiECon 2023 is not just an event, it's a celebration of our commitment to nurturing innovation and fostering entrepreneurship. So let's keep this momentum going. Let's continue to collaborate and innovate. And I'm sure we can create an impact on this city on building a very, very vibrant startup ecosystem. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us today, and let's have a great TiECon. Thank you.
Mr. Kashyap said that his introduction was longer than his speech, but he has so many achievements to his name, we couldn't help. And another thing he said was that TiECon 2023 is a celebration. It truly is. It's a celebration of everything everybody here does, everything everybody in the city does to further entrepreneurship. So moving further with the event, I would like to call upon the stage Mr. Mahavir Sharma. He chairs TiE India Angels and RAIN, catalyzing growth in Tier 2 cities, leading Rajasthan Angel Innovators Network. He is dedicated to fostering innovation beyond metros. Sir, please, the stage is yours.
A pleasure to come to Surat, and I remember a rain-fested evening back in the Chamber of Commerce of Gujarat, Sanjay. TiE Surat was launched, and I was there, and we've come a long way. Congratulations to everyone, the team, and absolutely great. And I think not just Surat, I think Ahmedabad, Baroda, this entire state is absolutely brimming with startup energy and investments and investors. So it's a great, great feeling to be here in Gujarat all the time, and it's an honor and pleasure. I think coming from Jaipur, a Tier 2 city, for me to see Chandigarh, all these 3 cities in Gujarat, Indore, these cities coming up of age in the startup ecosystem was absolutely a dream come true. And I think, Kashyap, TiE has a lot to do. While you don't take credit for the investments that these startups have created, but the platform, the knowledge, the 25 years of TiE in India, it's absolutely all angel networks that exist today are TiE charter members or founding charter members. All funds that exist today, whether it's angels or VCs, are all coming out of TiE chapters across India. So these money is not coming from TiE Surat or TiE Baroda or TiE Ahmedabad. The money is coming from TiE charter members of 25 years of various chapters who've realized that startups, technology, entrepreneurship mentoring, handholding, and investing are the future. So I think TiE has to take credit whether we invest or not. We have come a long way in the last 25 years. Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, all celebrating 25 years this coming year. And I think you will see an impact report coming out just for India, which other than what KPMG has done for globally, I think India's impact will be much larger than what we have done globally outside of Silicon Valley and Boston. So my quick 5-7 minutes of a scenario. I just want to run you through since 2014-15 and tell you where India is heading towards and what is the role of tier 2 and tier 3 cities and all the presidents that were named here. While Hyderabad will join us tomorrow, but all the tier 2 city presidents, 6 or 7 are here. So it's very important. These chapters have to play a very great role coming in the next 5 to 10 years. So 2015 is when the startup policy of Government of India came. India has always been a tech country. They were service providers to the world. They were job seekers to the world. But suddenly the startup policy, the investments, the success stories of a few 10, 20 unicorns in the 2015 and 16 helped people realize that startups and ideas will be funded, can be funded. Funds across the world came to India and investments and valuations were soaring high about 8, 9 years ago. That's step one. Then obviously the global or the Indian job market has shrunk rapidly. What used to be in advertisement or for a college or an institute or engineering college, how many job placements, 100% placement, 90% placement, X salary, Y salary has diminished. We're now to 60-70% of job placements. Rest, everyone is striving and wanting to become an entrepreneur. That happened in the last 8-10 years also. Government policies, not only the Government of India startup policy, every state has a great startup policy. There were early stage investments, grants. There are umpteen number of incubation centers across India, accelerator programs. There are many people who've benefited from Niti Aayog, MIT, etc., and the funds have flown in and strong infrastructure for labs has been created across India. COVID. Suddenly we realized that we can grow a business, we can do a technology business sitting at home. Even if you're sitting in Bangalore, you can work from home and create a business. You could be sitting in Surat and have your tech team sitting in Bangalore or Tel Aviv or Russia or wherever, but you can actually work. So people realize that you don't have to be in the same office, all of you, the tech, the sales, the operations, everybody doesn't have to be. So that changed the mindset that everyone doesn't have to rush to Delhi NCR or Bangalore or Bombay or Pune, etc. So that happened in 2021-23. I've already mentioned what TiE has done. We were always in existence. Angel investment was already happening. We already existed. And many organizations like us who are promoting entrepreneurship, many individuals, many colleges are trying to do that. So that always is in place in terms of mentoring. Then came television shows. Suddenly, people in every household realize what a startup is, what a valuation is, and all these television shows that have created a lot of noise in every startup or every house. So people did realize that startup is the future. And of course, the most important thing is that the financial sector, the chartered accountants, the global stockbrokers realized that investing in a startup is an asset class by itself, which can probably give you a high risk investment, but is the highest return. So all in all, this has happened, and we are now at the cusp of investments. People have gone from various cities. There are at least 15 more cities other than the top 4 or 5 that have incredible startups. I mean, I travel across India. You will see more people investing in these 15, 20 cities than people sitting in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. There are more investors sitting out of the smaller cities than in larger cities, and that has changed. And a simple number will tell you where we are. India has 107 unicorns. Guess how many are in Bangalore, Delhi, and Bombay? Anyone? 96. So just 11 are not in these 3 cities. So because this is 2012, 13, 14, and unicorn. Now there are 90,000 startups registered in DPIIT in India. Guess how many are in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore? 45,000. 50%. So 10% Unicorns, 50% startups across India. And that is where we have reached with all the things that happened in the last 8 to 9 years. So you see where the action will be. You will see where the unicorns will be. See, Gujarat has 5,000 some startups registered, 0 unicorn. Rajasthan has 3,000 some startups, 1 or 2 unicorn. Kerala has 3,000, 4,000 startups, maybe 3 unicorns. The impact on the unicorn and the glamour around unicorn will cease to exist, but the startups in Kerala's and Gujarat's and Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh and UP, Bihar will actually be the future, and that is what I feel. I mean, TiE has already invested in cities like Bhubaneswar. I mean, who would have thought Bhubaneswar would have startups? We have 2 investments in Bhubaneswar. We have investments coming out of smaller cities, much more stronger on revenue, more stronger on technology, more scalable, and realistic valuation. So I personally feel, and all of you who are investors would have realized that the future of India, and I think that's where US went wrong, Rakesh, is because Boston and Silicon Valley controlled everything and did not spread. But India's strength is that we have absolutely crystal clear understanding that startups and states are competing with each other. We're not just leaving it to California and Massachusetts and New York. We are leaving, every state is fighting and vying for the right kind of startups, giving great infrastructure, grants, investments, co-investments, and I think that is why India's growth story with low overheads, low operation costs, low capital investment will be spread across, and India's future, long-term future in the startup ecosystem will be much stronger and bigger, and that's where I'm very optimistic about India going forward, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Thank you so much.
Truly said that Tier 2 cities have truly become a cradle for startups and founders, and a big chunk of that goes to TiE and all of you people here, the members who make it possible for founders to give their best to their startups and get what they are giving. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahavir. It was a great speech. Moving further, this is going to be our first ever panel for TiECon 2023. I would like to invite the panelists. So a little about the panel we are going to have. The rise of startups and founders from Tier 2 cities in India is a true testament to the untapped potential and innovation bubbling beyond metropolitan hubs. These visionaries are reshaping the entrepreneurial landscape, proving that greatness knows no geographical or physical boundaries. I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Kashyap and Mr. Mahavir. Accompanying them will be Mr. Rakesh Kamdar and Ms. Dharti Desai. A huge round of applause, everybody. Mr. Rakesh Kamdar is a serial entrepreneur and the co-founder of DB Healthcare and Vice Chairman, Board of Trustees at TiE Global. Ms. Dharti Desai is a TiE Global board member and the past president of TiE New York. She is a renowned figure in business and marketing. Ms. Dharti demonstrates exceptional leadership, providing guidance and inspiration to emerging business leaders and startup founders. Over to you.
Again, friends, as we were discussing earlier, and Mahavirji also mentioned, Tier 2 cities like Surat, Jaipur, Indore are very interesting cities, okay? But still, we are not on the kind of a startup map, so to say. We still talk about Mumbai, NCR, and Bangalore, and probably Delhi and Pune. So what is happening in these cities? So I think, let me give you a little context, Rakesh Bhai. So I think in 2016, I think Sanjay Bhai was the head of startup cell at Chamber of Commerce, and he invited me to talk about startup ecosystem, how to build a startup ecosystem, when they were launching a startup cell, Sanjay Bhai, if you remember, in 2016, and I was in Bombay, so I thought ki Surat ma startup ecosystem ni baat kaun kare chhe, you know? So I attended that event and 100-odd guys turned up, very curious to know about startup. And being a startup event, as you know, when we go for a startup event, we end up saying some motivational stuff like, you know, forget the Silicon Valley, we'll create our own valley, you know. But 7 years down the line, what has happened is things have started moving that direction. Things have progressed a lot. In 2016, I got a call from a friend in Surat that said, I am investing in a startup 1 lakh rupees, can you check whether it's a good startup or not? I flew down from Bombay to Ahmedabad to visit that office and then suggested ki mat karo. That was 1 lakh rupees investment in a startup space by a Surat-based entrepreneur. Today, during COVID, we have people attending Zoom call and writing check worth 1 crore rupees. That is what has changed over a period of 6-7 years. Now, I think what we would like to understand from all three of you, different than probably US startup ecosystem. Because I'm sure when, as Mahavir mentioned very correctly, that Silicon Valley, Boston, New York are the hubs, but probably Austin is also emerging. A lot of other, so how do you compare those two ecosystems?
Okay, so Kashyap, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. Why I'm here today? There are three reasons that I came here today. On Monday, when I arrived in Ahmedabad, I wrote to Kashyap that, Kashyap, I'm sorry, I cannot make it. And one line of response, Rakesh, it's okay, but I'm still hoping you can make it. I mean, this is the positivity, at the utmost positivity message, right? Second thing, I met Gaurav in Singapore. He said, Rakesh, promise me you'll be in Surat on December 15th. And I said, I can't promise, but I'll try my best. And the third reason is people of Surat and businesses in Surat. I've been hearing in Boston and everywhere I go so much about Surat. So since last 5-6 years, I had this desire to come to Surat and get those vibes. So I'm here today for that purpose. Thank you. So I'll tell you a little bit about, I'm in Boston. Actually, Thai angels in Boston and Southern California, they're working how they can invest money in startups in India. Because of what happens in tier 2 cities, as well as other startup ecosystem here in India. So India is, I think, number one on the top of the list. VCs and angel investors are always part of Thai Boston ecosystem for over the last 25 years. And that has helped these startups that are coming out of Thai, as well as part of any pitch competitions. We are able to connect them with, the angel investors and VCs. I think in India, that system is just coming up, having TiECons and various programs here in India. Mahavir putting efforts in bringing angel investors. And I know he's working with Alok and group of people in the US. How do you bring angel investors of US to India? So I think slowly we are going to bridge that gap. But it's very important to have your own VCs and angel ecosystem at a chapter level.
Absolutely. I think Surat has already emerged as a major startup investment hub. And I think Mahavir closely watches what is happening in these tier 2 cities. So Mahavir, you have been exposed to both the world. You know what is happening in the US and you know exactly what is happening in. So where do you see the difference and how we can bridge that gap?
So I was in Baroda for the TiECon Baroda, and they already have an angel group. They already have 4 companies that they're investing in, and not all of them are tech people. So that is one very healthy sign. Though the US is evolving, Texas, of course, Washington with Seattle there, states, New Jersey, that are equally strong, if not as good as Silicon Valley and Boston, but India is far more spread out in comparison to the US, despite those states. So I personally feel that India, and the fact that India has the front end, the back end in technology, and the market, which is such a huge market for all these technology-based I think we have a advantage, and that is why our growth is 6-7% and probably a little more on 9-10% on the startup value, unlike the US, which will gradually and will be the leader for the next 5 to 10 years at least, but India's growth per annum will be much higher, in my opinion.
Right. So whenever we talk about any startup event, there is always a reference of US and Silicon Valley and other things. Dhartiben, you've been part of that ecosystem for many, many years. So, if you see India and India's startup policy, the policy is very good. the intentions are very good. Somewhere we probably fail in implementation, probably for whatever reason. But one thing, one of my friend told me that you can bring the policy of Stanford to India, but how do you bring culture to India? Now, what is that culture? How it is different in US and in India?
ये भाई बहन और अपन दोस्त तो ये गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड करेक्ट why do you call them भाई बहन call them
I do say Kashyap. Sorry, because the other day I called somebody bhai and they said, no, you're older than me, so please don't say bhai. And I said, wait a minute, I didn't know that about Gujarati. Gujarati true. Surat was, for me, home. I have a lot of family here. I've come for many, many holidays here. But it's just a pleasure to be here. I was here in 2019 to launch Thai Women with some incredible women. Sanjay was such a big support. Just happy to be here anytime. But to go to your question, I love that you asked me that. Everyone talks about successes and unicorns, like Mahavir rightly said when he was speaking earlier. I want to talk about a failure that I had in India. And somebody mentioned a startup from Surat. That is in the space that I dare to go into. And I'm going to answer your question. I had a wine business here for 16 years. And I shut it 2 years ago. I faced so many challenges here, not that I wouldn't have faced them anywhere else in the world. Being an entrepreneur, we all know, is full of risks, it's full of challenges. We know it's a lonely journey. That's why organizations like TiE play such a pivotal role. I think India today is a very different India, and I wish that I'd started my wine business today versus starting it all those years ago. There are many reasons why I shut that business. We don't have to go into that. But I think where India today has an advantage, first of all, statistically, I think we have an advantage. We're one of 7 in the world. So statistically, we're definitely going to come up with a lot of things do fall through the cracks, is like you rightly said on the execution side. It's also us as people, our mindsets, conditioning our mindsets to not accept mediocre. Chal chali jase, chalse, hu kem bolu? Why should I say what I want to say, what I'm feeling? This is changing. I think the Gen Z, the new generation of India, is truly a population to look out for. The opportunities are there, now we are grabbing them. We're no longer dependent because we have technology, we have information at our fingertips. So I do feel that things are changing for the better. Can we compare them to the West? For me, when I think of the West, it's really more Europe and US. That's been my exposure. I think we're getting there.
So in that scenario, Rakesh bhai, you've been part of TiE for many, many years. So what role organization like TiE can play in that scenario? And most importantly, I think TiE being a truly global organization, we from cities like Surat and probably Jaipur or Indore, we see TiE as like a gateway to the global startup ecosystem, because through TiE we have access to the global startup ecosystem. So what role in that context TiE can play?
So one thing, the charter members that I meet in different chapters, what I tell them that, when you join a local chapter, you are actually connected with the entire TiE Global Network. And ask them to review, and I'm a big LinkedIn fan, so they should feel like they're connected with charter members around the world and reach out to people either through the executive directors of specific chapters or through other connections that they have. And if you're visiting city or if you're coming or if you need help either on giving side or taking side, it's very important that we make them feel that TiE Global Network is very solid, available for them, and they should take advantage of that. And that I think we lack a little bit, it comes more from education, right? So you mentioned about Thai angels. I think even in Boston, every quarter, or every 6 months, we have someone who is actually inviting people who are new angel investors, telling them why they should invest money in startup companies. And we should do that globally. That's how we build our local investment ecosystem to support the startups that we mentor or foster.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mahavirji, as he was saying that, how do we leverage that, cross-chapter collaboration or, the true strength of Thai chapters from across the world. As a chapter from Tier 2, what are the steps we should do to leverage this?
So as Rakesh said, Alok in Boston, Ashish in SoCal, and Kumar in Silicon Valley, and me here, all four of us are working very closely on multiple levels, and that's just angel investment. What we do is that while I'm looking at India investments and they're looking at US investments, but we are also looking at India-based companies that have US as a market that can register in Delaware and get invested from Thai Global Angel. So there's a new vertical that we just discussed when I was in the US for Thai New York's 25 years. It was absolutely a must. So we are now trying to get creatives, a portal on both Thai Global Angels and Thai India Angels for startups who are Series A or B, who would want to go to the US and US as a market. One of the invested companies, Booking Genie, which is a software for small hotels, which is looking at US, we're already trying to help them out. There are other back and forth emails that are going between Ashish, Alok and me, but the long and short of it is that while we invest at early stage and idea stage within our countries, respectively, but there'll be cross-border investments, there'll be cross-border partnerships. Indians are investing in US companies and US investors are investing in India companies because we have a very, very democratic and a transparent process that we follow. And whatever we charge is at cost. So I think going forward, we will actually be enablers and cross-border investments and partnerships, not just events and speakers and attendance, but investments will happen for real, and that is going to be a real game changer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think funding and investment is one of the key pillars of Thai, I think. Okay, so I think mentoring, education, Gyan is there, but I think we need resources also to grow the venture. So I think that is, the balance of both is very, very important, and I think Thai is doing it. But I think now let me, shift the discussion towards the topic that I brought in my talk, that the DNA of Thai. Dhartiben, I'll still call you Dhartiben. So, okay. So why, what motivates you to work for Thai? And, and you've seen other leaders also selflessly working for Thai. What is that motivates you?
People. I love the startup environment. Having been an accidental entrepreneur, someone who is a first-generation entrepreneur, I did not know anything about entrepreneurship. And like I said earlier, it's a lonely journey, and I wish that I had Thai back then. But I did succeed, so by the way, it's not just about failures. Thai is your best friend in your journey as an entrepreneur. There isn't an organization like Thai. I have learned more through Thai than through my entire entrepreneurial journey, my education and everything. And this is a fact. It's the people in Thai. Like you said earlier, Kashyap bhai, and I'm saying bhai now. It's this whole attitude that we're here to serve, we're here to give back. While you're giving back, you're getting so much more back. It's continuous. One of our New York companies is here in the room today. Oscar has flown all the way from the US to India. He's not even of the Indus region. But this is the impact Thai has. Today we are in 13 countries. We have over 60 chapters. So clearly we're doing something right. I think the motivation is these startup founders that keep us all relevant and keep us all motivated. I just love the energy that startup founders have. And yes, most of us will fail, but we've got the right advice with Ty as our best friend in the journey.
Absolutely. I think people, obviously, I think that's a key reason why we engage with any organization. But I think the core purpose of TiE is fostering entrepreneurship. Now, how do we measure that? I think we already have KPMG impact report. So as a chapter, Rakesh bhai, what are those, what are the KRAs for chapters like us?
So I think, journey in Thai, let me divide them in 3 steps for an entrepreneur. So early entrepreneur, emerging entrepreneur, and established entrepreneur. So anybody who is either a regular member or charter member of Thai, they are in one of these categories. I actually myself, when I sold my first company in 1999, I had that journey through Thai for last 24 years. And what I have seen is Thai is source of inspiration. And over the years, the Thai has become more organized way of educating entrepreneurs. So through our programs, the Thai global programs which are implemented at chapter levels, that chapter is participating in each one of those programs, either at a smaller scale or larger scale. And you have seen big success in Thai women, right? So now our KPIs for a chapter is measured mostly through those program activities. Other than that, I think Thai is basically a platform for people to meet, introduce each other, and take that relationship out of Thai to a new height. So again, all the measurement, I would say, do it through the programs.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think now each chapter or each region has different needs, Mahavirji. Thai, Mumbai or Pune has a different need for the entrepreneurs in that city. Thai, Surat and Indore and Jaipur has different needs. How do we cater to those different needs of different chapters?
See, the other good thing I love about TiE, and I will not name the other organizations, TiE is not a top-down organization. TiE is a bottom-up organization. So what is needed for Surat, under the broad ambit of the programs and mission and vision of TiE, Kashyap decides the roadmap. We don't tell you. So if TiE Pune decides that mentoring has to be nurture, they do nurture and global takes it globally. See, global is just a unique way to connect chapters, have inter-chapter processes in place, to have the brand and dignity and principles and ethos in place. Compliance is in place. Rest, everything is up to the local leadership. And I'll tell you, you name the chapter that is struggling is because the leader is not thinking of his chapter as a business or a startup. He or she is just thinking of this as an event management company or comparing it to other national associations in India who are run by the administrative staff and they have government policies to deal with and or deliver government events. We don't do all that. So that is the major difference that we have. So every chapter is customized to local needs. Every successful chapter is customized to local needs. That's why it's successful. Every unsuccessful chapter is copying other people, and that is why it's unsuccessful. So I think that's the great thing about TiE, is that we let you be within a boxing ring. You can do whatever, you can fight, you can argue, you can kill each other, but it has to work for the audience, and the impact of entrepreneurship and startups and mentoring and education, all these pillars have to be accomplished. That's the main thing in my opinion.
Absolutely, and I think you mentioned that it's up to the TiE leadership, and I think all three of you have been chapter leaders and now global leaders. So, from each one of you, we'd like to understand in your chapter, what is one or two things that you guys did that you felt that, okay, this is something that is, working well, so that we can also learn from that and probably try to implement here, starting with Tartiben.
So I was very lucky to inherit something called Open Mic Night in New York. This was started by one of our global leaders as well, Tariq Khan. and now many chapters have adopted it. For New York, Open Mic Night has become a feeder. We get all stages, idea stage, early stage, late stage. Second Tuesday of every month, we have an Open Mic Night in New York. You can register in advance, you can show up, you have 2 minutes of stage time, and after the 2 minutes, you end with an ask. You don't leave the room without your ask. That ask is really where TiE takes over. So the entrepreneur walks in, it could be an idea stage, like I said, has no clue about entrepreneurship. After the 2-minute pitch, it could be a presentation, it could be a pitch, you end with an ask. Ask could be mentorship, ask could be finding a team, finding teammates, ask could be funding, ask could be your network, all of the things that TiE stands for, that TiE represents. This feeder has led us to have a mature mentorship program, now mature angel program, and it's brought us that natural critical mass that we can cater to. Ideally, Global always says the formula is 4 associate members or startup entrepreneurs to 1 charter member. We have redefined that formula in New York. And to Mahavir's point, it's really your local ecosystem and the local leadership that really needs to understand the challenges of that ecosystem and see how best you can cater to that ecosystem.
Right, absolutely. So I think Boston chapter is almost as old as Silicon Valley chapter. You guys started almost at the same time. And I think a lot of people look up to what Boston is doing. So I think in Boston, I'm sure you must have a lot of interesting examples that you'd like to share.
Sure, Kashyap bhai. So TiE Boston introduced TYE program many years ago, and that became a global program. So what we have been doing, I think every year we face different challenges. Since last couple of years, Yash and I focused on 2 things. We have about 230 charter members. And we continuously working on how to engage the large number of charter members to help us with programs or even show up at the event so that if there are startups or any other companies have come there, they have access to this successful group of people. So I would say one learning is engage your charter members, bring them to your events, and make them available to your startup ecosystem. This is one area we focus very much. Second thing is how to make our sponsors visible. Sponsorship is everything for our chapters, non-profit chapters like ours. We changed how we treat our sponsors. Any sponsorship, either through programmatic sponsorship or other sponsorship, we make them visible for 12 months. Recognize them, introduce them, and the third thing is all these programs we do, TiE Scale Up, which is like, growth companies, TiE Women. So we have created alumni batches and make sure we engage every company that entered 8 or 10 years ago until today. So these are the 3 things we focus on.
Very interesting. So Mahavirji, TiE Jaipur is, I think recently they won the best chapter award also. And I think you are closely working with a lot of chapters in TiE India. So I think, can you give example of few, chapters that are doing right?
Other than your chapter? So when 2002 Rajasthan was formed, I'll start with Rajasthan first. We had 6 or 7 tech entrepreneurs in Rajasthan. They had created an organization called RITEG, Rajasthan IT Entrepreneurs Group. And that was it. But back then, we realized that Rajasthan, you can't survive without tourism, without handicrafts, without, other oil crops, etc. So we opened up the membership, and entrepreneurship definition was redefined. It was no longer NASCOM and tech. It was entrepreneurship to the core. If you have a hotel, how are you running it differently? How are you expanding? Are you growing? So those parameters were created. And I think out of 30 odd first charter members, 25 of us were like carpet, jewelry, hotel, oil, and other cash crops. So, and we had a diversified chapter. The tech people were teaching tech, and we were teaching them how to do business. And I think that's one thing. We struggled for the first few years. Then we realized that unless we create value for our members, it will not work. So we started to do a lot of sessions with top leadership in both the government and non-government roles, and we had a Sunday breakfast. First Sunday of every month, we used to get the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax on a closed door, candid, no recording kind of conversation. We got the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, we got the Finance Minister of Rajasthan. So we started to tell them that if you're part of TiE, you're a group of people who can reach out to the government bodies from whatever departments that you deal with, the Jaipur Development Association Commissioner, so that if you have problems, if you can create a smart city solution, so that suddenly people wanted to reach out to us in hordes. Now, Rajasthan did a very important thing. There's a huge, no chapter in India, including Delhi, the largest chapter, had no quality check. You pay 50,000 or 25,000, you become. Rajasthan had a 3-tier interview. We had back then 200,000 rupees joining fees. Now it is 400,000 plus GST. So that people see that I'm putting in 6 lakh rupees in the first year, they should realize that it is worth it, number one. Number two, we should know that he or she is serious and he wants to give back. Just saying I will give back and I have too much of knowledge and I will share is not enough. So Rajasthan created that. Now suddenly we learned from Silicon Valley that TiE is aging. So 2 years ago we started the next gen. So all our children between the ages of 17 to 25, we started a program. People started, so you have to look at the future, you have to solve problem, and now TiE Next is going to be, Shinu is already propagating that, and we are slowly getting into our next generation to be part of TiE, to understand the values of TiE and give back to the society. So that's what Rajasthan did. I went to Chandigarh. I think their charter member fees were 15,000. Rajasthan was back then charging 50,000, 2 lakh rupees joining. I said, you shut the chapter. Sanjeev Bikhchandani and I were there for the TiE Chandigarh retreat. I don't know, I don't even know if SK was a member then. You were probably not a member also. We went to nice, Shimla, what's the hotel that now government has taken over? Windflower Hall. We are having great alcohol and stuff. I said, you should shut. So Sanjeev said, you should shut the chapter. At 15,000 rupees and 30 members, this is not going to work. And this is back in 2014, 15. Sanjeev and I were both on the board at that time. They have now gone to 50,000 rupees, 14,000 rupees. But now they have started to work with 5 colleges, universities in Punjab. They have started to realize that the working with the government is very important. So they have changed and they have transformed into a chapter. I think these are very, very critical things that chapters have to inculcate and evolve locally. And it's very important that unless people see value in what you're doing, it doesn't work. And if someone says you have to give back or you will get back or you will get a network and you will meet Mahavir and you will meet Kashyap, it doesn't work that way. Because they can meet them anyways outside of TiE also. So it's very, very important. And the most important thing that I've realized in any chapter that is successful, 10 to 15 committed members of that city or that chapter have love TiE and are there when needed for TiE, and that is the most important thing. And that's what differentiates again a successful and not so successful chapter.
I think that way TiE Surat is very lucky that out of 60 members, I think we have very, very actively engaged charter members.
Even non-charter members are engaged. So she said, how can you ignore me? She's not a TiE charter member, her mother is, but you can't ignore me. So this is how I love Surat, because you guys have evolved and you've engaged many more than your charter members.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think, Mahavir, you mentioned that, you've seen our journey from July 2019 to till now. So I think now we would also like to hear a few good things about us from global leaders, right guys? So what do you think that few things that we as a chapter did well, and where are the areas of improvement, or what are the areas where we should take some steps?
So I think obviously COVID was tough for everyone, and I think in early incubation year or so, You were lucky to have online access to the global leadership and global events. And I think 2020-21, when we did TiECon Silicon Valley or TGS online, your members and your back then board made sure that the attendance was very, very strong. And you continue to educate people, and suddenly without them having to travel and spend money and time, they realize the potential of what TiE can bring them sitting at home free of cost, and see stalwarts that TiE has globally. So I think that helped you. Secondly, I think transition in leadership is the most important thing. I mean, if someone does not change their president in 2 years, in my opinion, that is a red flag. Forget third, not even 2 terms, I think. So I think the fact that Sanjay was there for 2 years and Gaurav got occupied in his own this thing, and he passed it on to you, and now he takes over on the 1st of January. I think seamless teamwork, trust, and transition of leadership is the other great thing that great chapters have, and Surat has showed that very, very credibly. I think also you guys are lucky that the other peripheral ecosystem and investors, Mr. Dholakia, all these investors, and the fact that Surat is a well-known textile and diamond city and flush with funds to invest and have realized startup as an asset class. I think in other events like Ivy Growth, I saw they're sitting here. I mean, they're Mehulia. So also help the ecosystem. And I think I did not see, I mean, they are here and we were there. There's no competition that, oh, you are doing it and we will not be there. So I think that helps as a city because you are in it together. No one organization or no one platform can succeed without partnering with equally partners and spacing out their events. And I've been to both their events, I've been to all your events. So I think those are the 3-4 things without giving any individual the credit, the team and the city the credit, in my opinion.
Yeah. So one thing I've seen, Kaushik, TiE Surat shows up. It's amazing, there are always group of people from Surat in all global events. So that is quite impressive.
Are you coming to Sri Lanka on that note? So there's a retreat in Sri Lanka, 25th, 26th, 27th of January. It's at sorry, Rakesh, I need to sell my retreat. Murli is not here, but the retreat is... So I'll tell you, these conferences are great. This networking is great and pitching and knowledge and this thing. But what happens on the retreat is absolutely amazing. The kind of relationship and friendships that you create with your spouses, that it's absolutely unreal. And if this question that how TiE has changed me, I was the TiE Rajasthan president in 2008 and 9, useless president, had no time, did not do anything until TiE Global came to me that we want to do the retreat in India this year, and it's between Jaipur and Mysore. And my experience with hotel and my event management kicked in, and we gave a great retreat, and Mahavir became a TiE Global person, and I became an angel investor, and I don't do carpets or jewelry anymore. My team does it, and I'm full-time angel investing. So my life completely changed because of TiE. And I think it happened because of TiE, the retreat in Jaipur. So I strongly urge, if you can take 3 to 4 days off, Sri Lanka is it's not Brazil. It's Tokyo next year in July. It is the easiest place to get. You will have a great time, and our families will get to know each other, and the relationship will become much more stronger and deeper, and you will realize the value of TiE. So 25th, 26th, 27th of January, 4 days, 3 nights event. It's very simple to register. Please be there if you can be there, including the leadership and the new leadership with broken hand or no broken hand. Sorry, Rakesh, I realized.
So what I said good about them, it became challenge now.
Including Baroda and Ahmedabad and Indore and Chandigarh. All leaders sitting here. This is a challenge for everyone.
So I think, Dharti, you've been, witnessing TiE women, and, what are your experiences, and, say some good things about us, and at the same time, suggest, few steps that we should do. I think I'll again come back to you guys, because you guys said nice things, but I think now we'll also like to hear what are the things we should do. So I think, Dharti, you can do both.
No, I think the chapter really deserves a lot of kudos. Like Mahavir pointed out, the transition has been fantastic. Everyone's taking ownership. I agree with Rakesh 100%. Surat shows up. And we show up, so we know Surat shows up because we've met everybody. The Thai women program for Surat, of course, for me, it's been very special because I was here for the launch in 2019. But what I've seen over the years, this is the 4th edition that we finished in Singapore of Thai women, all the leaders show up. And the nice thing is, the people who participated in the program are staying in the system and paying forward. So whether it's Geeta or whether it's Hetal and so many others, I just love the fact that, and this is again the ethos of Thai, right? It's not just about giving back, but paying forward. And so I think Surat has done an incredible job of that. What I would love to see more of is 3 women founders got funded. But I think capturing all those metrics across the programs, and Rakesh alluded to, success of a chapter really depending a lot on the programs as well, whether they are homegrown or they come from global. In either case, I think capturing those and then spreading that word across your own chapter, your local ecosystem, and then letting the other chapters know as well. I think it goes a long way. We have one Thai Surat charter member that is so actively engaged in New York, Dr. Nitin Domasia. I don't know where he is, but he's been such a champion of Surat everywhere and a champion of New York. And we love seeing that, I think that cross-border collaboration only Thai can give you. And so I think there are, of course, challenges like anything, but keep capturing those metrics and sharing with everybody.
Thai Surat is lagging on getting a good angel group together. And I've told Gaurav this and I've told everyone this, we're okay to co-invest, but early stage, idea stage, 1.5, 2 crore gross investment, even if it's partial, if it's a 4 crore raise, I think unless you guys start to invest in your local ecosystem, you will not draw attention from the government, from the local businesses. And I think you need to have a full-time person, and maybe you can be that person after your term is over, to look at local startups, shortlist them, bring to the angel platform, let us invest into it. I think that is the future. And despite competitions and conflicts, I'm sure we can this is the only space where the more you co-invest, the better it is. I'd rather invest in 10 companies with 10 other people than invest in one company, all of it in one go. It's absolutely a clear mandate in this ecosystem. We are not aggressive enough to get local startups to be showcased on the platform. So that's another challenge, Rakesh, that I have. So you can take that up.
Beginning this year, one thing we started doing, asking presidents, what can Thai Global do for you?
We have a long list, I suppose. As we were discussing, as a chapter from a tier 2 city, our asks are very different. One is how Thai can truly become a gateway to global startup ecosystem. How our associate members can leverage this global network. One are the global competition that we organize, be it Thai Women, Thai University Program, TiECon. Those are competitions. On a regular basis, there should be something that should happen so that our associate members can take advantage of this Thai network on a regular basis. I think that would be probably increasing more cross-chapter engagement in a more formal way. Right now, our structure is very, very, federal structure. We are very loosely connected with each other. So it is up to the chapter to decide whether I want to engage with New York or not. As Mahavir said, if it's up to the Thai leadership. The question is, Thai Global should ask all the chapters that these are the things you should do mandatorily, and these are the optional things. Right now, everything is optional. Sometimes we also don't know whether we should do it or not. So I think, our ask is, how do we create that mechanism so that we can leverage all those points in a more structured way? So that would be our primary ask. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Also, I think just final remarks before we conclude. I think one, Mahavir, you mentioned that giving back, you used that phrase a couple of times. How do we ensure that our charter members are the givers and not the seekers? Because I think this is anyway is going to be a very, very critical for the success of any chapter. So going forward, how do we ensure that this happens, and what would be your final suggestion for our chapter?
I mean, ज्ञान ज़्यादा ज़रूर या पैसा ज़रूरी है क्योंकि ज्ञान एक बार मांगो 100 देने वाले आ जाते हैं, पैसा मांगने से नहीं मिलता है, पैसा कमाना पड़ता है. So what the idea is that if you are looking to learn from the ecosystem, or if you want to get knowledge, there's umpteen knowledge available everywhere. Online, Google is full of knowledge. You can just go, scroll online and you can learn so much. And there are great speakers and TED Talks, etc., etc. And you don't need to be here. What TiE brings to us is the debates, the discussions, the investment or not investment, the technology that these young startups bring. These interactions is what teaches you more, and you don't forget. If you read something, if you see something, if you don't share it with someone, you will forget it. You teach it to your children, your friends, your family, your neighbors, you will never forget it. And that's what I get a kick out of talking to startups, because they teach me new ideas, new ways to execute. And I think people who ask कि मुझे क्या मिलेगा is not giving enough. And that is where the problem is. And I'm telling you, I would not have gotten anything sitting back in my home in Jaipur. I would still have been selling carpets and jewelry. The fact that I ventured out and attended retreats and TiECons across the world, that I am what I am today, and proud to have 500 some close friends across the world in various parts of the world, because we reached out to each other and became friends, because we met more than once, more than twice, more than 5 times. And that is the most important thing. Don't ask what you will get. Unless you give something, you won't get anything ever.
So we found a hack in New York. New York has to be a hacker. So what we do is we don't discourage the seekers. Majority, of course, are givers and paying forward. The seekers, we ask them to write checks for our chapter. And we actually learned that from Oregon and Atlanta. So we encourage the seekers also. Please come, sponsor a program, invest in a startup. And for us, that hack has worked beautifully. Over time, the seekers disappear if it is not relevant. Because even when you have a sponsor, if you don't give the sponsor a return on investment, no sponsor is going to stick around. That's the onus that we have to take, right? And make sure that we are able to give back, whether it's a charter member or a sponsor.
Yeah.
So Kashyap, I think if you think that charter members are always givers, I don't think it is the right way it's going to work. Depending on their journey of entrepreneurship when they enter and become charter member, they could be seekers as well as givers. And ultimately they become givers. As you see, in Boston, I've seen that there are charter members who are still growing their businesses. So they come there for inspiration, networking, learning more, getting business. And then there are entrepreneurs who are willing to help them. So you have to really, not restrict the charter membership and just make them givers. Let them get what they want, but at the same time with the intention of giving. That's the best way to work.
Absolutely. So I think to conclude, we can say that there has to be right balance between givers and seekers, so that if the right balance is there, if the right intentions are there, then probably we can create the right impact. So thank you so much, guys. We had a wonderful chat. Thank you so much, friends. I think we'll move on to the next panel discussion. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kashyap.
I would request you all to be on stage, and I would request Mr. Kashyap to felicitate our panelists. It was such an insightful session. It is seldom that we get to witness such brilliant minds in synergy. And quoting something Mr. Kashyap said, and I think there has to be a balance between seeking and giving within us as well. A round of applause, please, for the wonderful session and for our wonderful panelists. A round of applause, please, for the wonderful session and for our wonderful panelists. In the very beginning, I told everyone that I expect everybody to keep clapping when I tell them to clap. Before moving further, I would like to speak a few words about our title sponsor, Jainam Broking Limited. With the benevolent philosophy of prosperity with security, Janam Broking Limited ventured into retail broking in the year 2004. Over the past 19 years, JBL has diversified into various investment products and ideas. Janam has established itself as a player in delta trading and is a key contributor in the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Surat. Very interesting quiz for everybody here. How many people here have a high competitive spirit? Please raise your hands. How many people here have a very high competitive spirit? Why do we have to think? We are in a room, we have to think twice. 2 hands. Ms. Bharti, I love your energy. All right. So, here's a quiz brought to you by our quiz partner, LogicWind. All you have to do is, there will be a QR code displayed on the screen right here. You have to take out your phones. You have to open Google, open the Google scanner, scan the QR code. Everybody, even at the end, will be able to scan. When you open the QR code, there will be 5 questions waiting for you. Before you can answer those questions, you have to enter your name. And then we start the quiz. The twist here is that I tell you the rules and the twist. So the rules are that every correct answer is worth 5 points. For every correct answer, you also get additional points for the time left on the timer. For example, if you answer a question and then there is 7 seconds left in the timer, so you get 7 additional points for that particular question. Is it clear? All right, how many people have already scanned? I can barely see hands. So lovely, people at the end have already scanned. Why is nobody here scanning? And the best part about this is that we have really exciting gifts waiting for you, and also the pride of being the one with the fastest fingers here. So everybody who's not scanning and who's not a part of the quiz, you are missing out. All right. Should we start the quiz? Are we ready to start the quiz? Can I hear a yes or a no? All right, let the quiz begin. This quiz is going to test, are you really a time member or not? Quick, quick, quick. Do we know the answers? But nobody, oh no, you don't say it out loud. No sharing of answers, people. You're losing your chance on winning. So why are you not playing? Oh, we are on the 4th question. Just 1 to go. All right. And the quiz is done. Oh, wow. We have Mr. Kashyap as a winner. Mr. Kashyap is not leaving TiE and the stage today. So, our winners are Mr. Dinesh Agrawal, the only person to have written their last name, Mr. Kashyap, our runner-up, and for the 3rd prize, we have Mr. Vinay. Can you all raise your hands, please? All right. Mr. Kashyap does not need a gift. It's okay. All right. So while they get their very exciting gifts from LogicWind, I hope you all had fun. Did we have fun playing the quiz? Yes. All right. Moving forward, we have another really exciting panel waiting for all of us. It's a panel with all the TiE leaders. It's time to invite our very, very esteemed TiE leaders on stage for a conversation that will be inspiring and insightful just the same. Leaders who are the driving force behind the dynamic ecosystem that TiE is today, uniting visionaries, entrepreneurs, and investors and bringing them together. Their guidance and initiative propels innovation and growth nationwide. Calling upon the stage, the session will be moderated by Mr. Gaurav Singhvi, the President-elect of TiECon Surat, With over 21 years of experience in entrepreneurship, investment banking, and financial advisory, Mr. Gaurav has established himself as a prominent fund manager and a community creator. Accompanying him on stage will be our esteemed panelists, Mr. Vinay Rathi, the President, TiE Baroda, Mr. Jay Jain, sorry, no. Mr. Nilesh Shukla, President TiE Baroda, Mr. Vinay Rathi, President TiE Udaipur, Mr. Jay Jain, President TiE Madhya Pradesh, and Mr. Ravi Iswaroop, accompanied by Mr. Ravi Iswaroop is the President TiE Vizag, and Mr. Satish Kumar Arora. I think there's something wrong with my ears because I can barely hear the claps. Please keep clapping, please keep clapping. Let's keep the energy on.
Good evening, everyone. So when Mahavir was telling about that retreat, I wanted to share something, I think, because it is very relevant for this room. So I became TiE member in 2009 in TiE Gujarat. That time, there was only one TiE, that was TiE Gujarat. And, because I was the only one from Surat, they took me in the board also. And in 2010 or 11, I went to first retreat, but that was in Bali. And I went there and I met all the other people. That was my first interaction, or that was my first understanding about that this. So what you're talking about, Mahavir, makes a lot of sense. That from there till today is 2023, and now with We Found a Circle and other things, the life has changed dramatically. And I think that credit goes to TiE, because if I had not been to that retreat, I would have not, got that insight and would have not started what I'm doing today. So welcome everyone. Three of India: Vizag, Indore, Vadodara, Chandigarh, and so all the places, and Udaipur. So these all the five. Last 2 years, I had a great opportunity of traveling across India. 60 cities of India I traveled just to, talk about angel investing. Because I thought that, just wanted to give the number, that there are 40 cities in 10 lakh se zyada ki population ke 40 cities hain. And there are 100 cities which are more than 500,000, 5 lakh population and more. And nobody has gone to these cities to promote and talk about this asset class. So I traveled in last 24 months. I've traveled and had a fortune to travel almost 60 cities of India, and went and did a lot of sessions. Morning I was doing a startup session, and in the evening I was doing a startup mixer. Had a great insight that all these tier 2 are looking forward for this opportunity, but nobody has come to explain about that. Only the cities which are blast cities like Udaipur or Indore, where TiE is there, I think that's something that's happening, but other than it's not happening. So I wanted to first ask you, all of you, that I think this is very important, that what one thing which you feel in your city has changed in last 5-7 years in startup investing? Maybe from the startup side, or maybe from the investors side, because I will also talk about Surat, once you will finish that. So, wanted to start with you, SK, because from Chandigarh, we see that Chandigarh is in top 7 cities in India. So, what's your experience?
So, I think if I talk about especially the Chandigarh, so I give you a little background. So, most of my career, I have worked in telecom. And my entrepreneurial journey was started in 2014 I thought to start, and then formalized the process by 2016. I heard about the angel investment in 2017, so that was my first interaction that happened with the Chandigarh Angels Network. Then I started. I think if I talk about the ecosystem, how the city have changed, so I'm living in the city after my graduation from Ludhiana, so I come to the Chandigarh. I started working there. Uh, the city was not that vibrant. The city was not that open for the industry. But let me tell you today, so we almost the Tri-City region together does almost 1 billion export of IT industry. Wonderful. Right. Uh, 2 days back, so I was attending an event hosted by STPI in collaboration with TiE Delhi. So in that event, 3 state governments were present there, and we were discussing how still the further the ecosystem can grow, right? So when I started my journey, so I started my entrepreneurial journey, I was not knowing about what the angel investment is, whether I can take the fund, or probably if I have been knowing that, I could have started a decade ago when I started. So it is one, the information spread that has happened. Second, the number of startup. So what I see within that region, especially the Chandigarh, the university and the institutional ecosystem have developed a lot. So we, TiE Chandigarh, closely work with 10 plus institutes around the region. So from where lot of startups are actually getting incubated. So that is the primary source of the incubations. Altogether, as a member, so we have over around 350 plus odd members, so-called IT companies, how the system is actually been growing. So today we have more than 5 angel networks within the region, so which are contributing or accelerating the growth with the kind of investments. So that's how the system is growing. Institutes like IIT, so we have 2 IITs which is close to the region, IIT Mandi and IIT Ropar. And one of the center that the center government has made towards the Chandigarh, so that is one of the center which is becoming the research and the science center around that region. So I think the ecosystem has grown very well in terms of the startups also, in terms of the angel investments also, and lot of VC funds have also started moving into the region because they are actually looking at tier 2 cities as a growth of their next level growth.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vinay, you are coming from Udaipur and we heard a lot about Udaipur's marriages. But what's your experience in last 5-7 years? Things changed in Udaipur for startups.
So, yeah, Gaurav, thank you. So Udaipur is a very traditional city and it's a small city compared to other cities. Even Surat is maybe 10 times bigger in population, but business-wise it may be 50 times bigger than Udaipur. So Udaipur being a very traditional city, the businesses have been around minerals, tourism, so that is where Rajasthan and specifically Udaipur is coming from. But what has changed is a few success stories that we have had in the last maybe 7-8 years. So we have got startups which are valued like almost 3,000, 4,000 crore rupees. Then there's some startup which is doing a meat product. You see them vegan products. You see them on airports. So those are really inspirational for other people to get into the startup mode. The colleges there, we see a lot of students who are getting into this mode. We just conducted our first TYE program, and there was a girl of 9th standard, and she told that I wanted to patent my idea. So a 9th standard girl talking about patenting her idea is like what I never imagined that I would have done anything even in my college days. So that is a big change what we are seeing, and TiE being a part of this, making it happen. So we are trying our bit. And I think it is working in some way or the other. We are not the only one who are doing it. So there are multiple agencies who are working for it. But there's a big change, what I see from a traditional business perspective to the new style of businesses which are happening. And yeah, so thank you.
Perfect. So, before I go to Nilesh Bhai, last year when I traveled, one individual met and he was basically a traditional entrepreneur, as Vinay is saying. For 1 year, he was just coming on the pitches and was listening pitches. most recently, about 2 months before, he committed a 50 lakh rupees in one startup. And that was a surprise for me. So when you are saying that traditional businessmen, they may take time, they are taking time to come in this asset class, but when they come full out and they wanted to really invest. नीलेश भाई, आपसे ये सवाल है कि बड़ौदा में बहुत चेंज आ रहा है, बहुत परिवर्तन आया है और पिछले 5-7 सालों में आपने बहुत ज़बरदस्त तरीके से ग्रोथ देखी है. कल्चरल कैपिटल ऑफ गुजरात है. क्या लगता है आपको कि पिछले 6-7 सालों में क्या ऐसा परिवर्तन आया है बड़ौदा के अंदर जो कि स्टार्टअप के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा बेटर रहा?
जी, बड़ौदा चैप्टर सबसे नया चैप्टर है और मैं बोलता हूँ यंग चैप्टर है. ये स्टार्टअप की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, बड़ौदा के अंदर हम लोग 1999 से जिनको जो नए आइडियाज़ या तो उनके माइंड में जो भी था तो उनको किस तरह से बिजनेस में डाला जाए, इस तरह से सब लोग हम काम करते थे. एंड इन बिटवीन देर आर 2 कंपनीज, उन्होंने ऐसा सपोर्ट दिया फॉर आवर स्मॉल स्केल कि चाइना से अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट लेके आते थे एंड लाने के बाद रख देते थे कि आप बनाओ, एंड बनाने के साथ बोलते थे कि 100 पीस में ऑर्डर दूंगा, बट ये कॉस्ट और ये बनाओ. तो वो टाइम से वहाँ एक इंडस्ट्रीज़ का और एमएसएमई का एक माइंड डेवलप हो गया था. आफ्टर दिस टाई, सबसे पहले हमने देखा कि भाई टाई के अंदर जो मेन हमारा जो कनेक्शन और इंटेंशन जो है, सबसे पहले इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ और जो स्केल अप वाले हैं उन सबसे कैसे टाइप किया जाए. विद द हेल्प ऑफ आई हब जब शुरू हुआ था, सबसे पहले आई हब को हमने बताया कि भाई आप गांधीनगर में बैठे बैठे काम करते हो तो नहीं चलेगा, आपको सब यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ टाइप करना पड़ेगा, सब एसोसिएशनों के साथ. तो फ्रॉम सूरत टू वापी सबके साथ एमओयू कर दिया. उनके बाद हमने एक चीज़ देखा कि भाई स्टार्टअप के पास आइडियाज़ है, प्रोडक्ट है, सब कुछ है, बट लेकिन कहाँ है, हम लोग क्या नया कर रहे हैं स्टार्टअप के लिए. हम तो स्टार्टअप के आइडियाज़ को और उनको सपोर्ट कैसे किया जाए, दैट इज़ आवर मेन वर्क. जैसे आपने बताया कि 2010 के बाद आपने एंजल सेंटेंस सुना और आपने पैसे की बात की. अभी महावीर जी ने बताया कि भाई प्रोडक्ट से ज़्यादा पैसा और वो तो क्या. हमारे, मैं ऑनेस्टली बताता हूँ, आइदर आई एम डिफर विद द सर्टन पॉइंट, बट यहाँ सूरत के अंदर जितने भी डायमंड किंग है उसमें से सब ने स्टार्टअप ही किया है. कौन टाइकॉन का हो या टाई का मेंबर था. हमारे बालाजी वेफर देखो, गोपाल देखो, आप यू से एंड नंबर ऑफ नेम. हमें स्टार्टअप किसको कहना है. तो नाउ ये अभी बात ऐसी हो गई कि जो हमारी सिस्टम या तो हम जिसके साथ कनेक्टेड है उन्हें हम किस तरह से सपोर्ट किया जाए. तो अकॉर्डिंगली हमने बहुत मनोमंथन किया, बहुत हमने ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग किया और बाद में ऐसे लगा कि जितने जितने आइडियाज़ हैं उसको अगर रियल में बिजनेस स्केल पे लाना है तो 2 ही चीज़ करनी है. और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि उनको प्रॉपर उनकी इंडस्ट्रीज या तो उनके रिलेटेड उनकी कंपनियों के साथ उसको जोड़ा जाए. एंड दैट्स वाई वी स्टार्टेड इन वडोदरा मैचेथॉन प्रोग्राम. दैट इज़ द फर्स्ट. और ये सब टाई के अलग चैप्टरों से तो हमने देखा था, सुना था और सीख भी लिया था. तो नाउ वी हैव टू से कि भाई पहले से ही हम लोग आगे क्या बढ़े. एंड सेकंड थिंग जो आपने बताया कि लोकल स्टार्टअप, जैसे अभी यहाँ बात हुई, तो उनको कैसे फंड्स और उनकी सिस्टम में हेल्प किया जाए. तो वी सपोर्ट टेक द सपोर्ट ऑफ द लोकल इंडस्ट्रीज एंड लोकल इन्वेस्टर्स कि भाई आप अपना. और हमने टाई में ही वेन करके एक ग्रुप बना दिया कि जो हम रेगुलरली एवरी फर्स्ट फ्राइडे जितने भी स्टार्टअप लोकल है उनको बुलाते हैं, उनसे सबके साथ इंटरेक्शन करते हैं, 1 बाय 1 वहाँ जो भी है उनको वो कर रहे हैं. तो ये एक मैंने देखा कि स्टार्टअप के अंदर अभी हर एक के पास चेंजेस आ गया है. फिर भी देर आर लॉट ऑफ चैलेंजेस एंड वन ऑफ द चैलेंजेस विद द स्टार्टअप कि वो सब कुछ समझते हैं, बट जब कोई फंड्स वाला आता है स्पेशली तो उनके सीए या तो उनकी वायबिलिटी की जब बात करते हैं तो वो उनसे कुछ कन्विंस नहीं कर पाते हैं. और वहाँ बहुत सारे अच्छे अच्छे प्रोडक्ट या तो अच्छे अच्छे चीज़ों को रुकावट आ जाती है. बट मैं ऐसा मानता हूँ देर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग आई हैव टू से, बट ओनली ऑन दैट क्वेश्चन कि टाई ग्लोबल को क्या करना चाहिए, टीयर 1 चैप्टर को हमें क्या करना चाहिए, और टीयर 2 और हम सबको मिलके क्या करना चाहिए, वो एक हमें एक पूरा एक एजेंडा या तो एक ऐसा फॉर्मूला बनाना ही चाहिए, तभी वी कैन सक्सेस फॉर द टाई।
तो मिलेश भाई आपसे ही पूछ लेता हूँ कि टाई टीयर 2, टीयर 3, टीयर 4 चैप्टर्स की तो अपन बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन टीयर 1 जिसको कि अपन बॉम्बे, दिल्ली, बेंगलोर और फिर उसके बाद में ग्लोबल चैप्टर्स, उनको क्या करना चाहिए टीयर 2, टीयर 3, टीयर 4 के लिए कि जिससे उनको मदद हो?
परफेक्ट। मुझे बताओ, टीयर 1 सिटीज़ के अंदर बहुत सारे, बेंगलोर लो, बॉम्बे लो, ये जितने भी है, तो उनके पास जो स्टार्टअप के मेजर प्रोजेक्ट है वो फाइनेंस रिलेटेड है, आईटी रिलेटेड है उनके लिए। टीयर 2 में अपने पास क्या है, तो एग्रीटेक है, समझो कोई नया कोई इनोवेशन किया हुआ छोटी सी प्रोडक्ट है उनकी है, तो देर आर लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस। रूरल बेस्ड, तो वो विन विन सिचुएशन के रूरल बेस्ड जितने भी स्टार्टअप है वो टीयर 2 सिटी के नियर बाय होगा। बॉम्बे में या तो दिल्ली में कोई रूरल की बात करके वो प्रोजेक्ट नहीं करने वाले। करना ये है कि जितने भी ग्लोबल एंड टीयर 1 जो जहाँ उनके पास जितने भाई उनका नॉलेज है, उनकी स्ट्रेंथ है, उनके स्पीकर्स रिलेटेड है, उनके जो प्रोग्राम्स है उनके रिलेटेड, वो सब उनको टीयर 2 उनके साथ रेगुलरली आई सजेस्ट के ऑनलाइन या तो कैसे भी करके वो बांटना चाहिए। सेकंड थिंग, जहाँ जहाँ मैं आपको एग्जांपल दूँ, बॉम्बे, दिल्ली में और वहाँ स्पीकर्स लाना है तो इजी है। मैं आपको ही पूछता हूँ, सूरत में हमें लाना है, हम ला सकते हैं सबको, बट बिकॉज ऑफ द सूरत एंड टीयर 2 सिटी एंड कनेक्टिविटी वाइज और सर्टन थिंग, बट व्हाई नॉट फ्रॉम एमंग द जो हमारे टाई के उनसे एक प्रोग्राम बना दे, एक ऐसा एक एजेंडा बना दे कि भाई हमारे पास हमारे लिस्ट में ये 40 लोग हैं, ये 40 लोग को हम अलग अलग जगह टाइकॉन में बांटेंगे, तो ये प्रॉपरली हो जाएगा। और सबसे बड़ी बात मेरा यही कहना है कि टाई की जितनी भी एक्टिविटी हम करें वो नॉट एज ए टाई इवेंट, बस हमें टाई में सबको इन्वॉल्वमेंट करने के लिए उनको प्रॉपर बेनिफिट हो सके, ऐसा गाइडलाइन हमें टायर 1 से मिलना चाहिए, वो बहुत ज़रूरी है। कोऑर्डिनेशन गैप है, वो करनी ही पड़ेगी। आज मुझे यही बताना है कि हमारे पास डायरेक्टरी क्यों नहीं है ऑनलाइन। वो लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने बताया था कि हम देखते हैं, अभी महावीर प्रसाद जी बोलते हैं कि भाई फीस ज़्यादा रखो, 4 लाख रखो या तो इतना रखो। वी हैव सर्टन डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन। भाई हम तो गुजराती बच्चे हैं, हमको पैसे की कोई लेन देन है, हम आपका पैसा जो टाई का है वो भर देंगे, बाकी हम मुफ्त रखें या 10,000 में रखें, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। बट ये देश का संचालन भी गुजराती करता है और ये देश की इकोनॉमी गुजराती चला रहे हैं, ये तो इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। तो वी नो हाउ टू सर्वाइव एंड वी नो हाउ टू गो अहेड। तो एनीवे,
मतलब मिलेश भाई मैं ये समझ पा रहा हूँ कि रिसोर्सेज कैसे प्रोवाइड कर सकता है चैप्टर टीयर 1 या फिर ग्लोबल, दूसरा स्पीकर्स कैसे प्रोवाइड कर सकता है, और जो नॉलेज एक्सचेंज मुझे लगता है वो भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि वहां पे इस तरह की बढ़िया इवेंट हो रहे होते हैं, इस तरह की चीजें हो रही होती है जो कि टीयर 2 के अंदर हमारे पास में नहीं हो रही
जी। उसमें मेरा ये कहना है कि टाई के जो हमारे प्रोग्राम है, अभी टाई यूनिवर्सिटी का टाई यूनिवर्सिटी प्रोग्राम जो है इन नियर बाय टीयर 2 में हमारे साथ सभी जो यूनिवर्सिटी या तो इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर वाले हैं या तो जो भी इकोसिस्टम पार्टनर्स है, तो वहाँ से उनको पहले एक फ्री एक सैंपल की तरह सब हर एक जगह पे उनकी जो है वो बताना चाहिए। टाई यंग चैप्टर का जो हमारा TYE है, टाई वीमेंस का है, तो ये सबके लिए जो वहाँ होता है। और मैं आपको एक चीज़ बताऊँ सर, मैंने एक चीज़ देख लिया है कि जितने भी टाई में सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बने हैं और टाई के जो है और पास्ट में जो है, जो हम नाम दे सकते हैं कि भाई बुक माई शो तो हमारा टाई का है, शादी.com तो हमारा टाई का है, तो ऐसे जो, तो मैं बताता हूँ कि अभी हमारी जनरेशन और यहाँ के लोगों को नॉलेज टाई क्या है, टाई में कैसा है और थियोरेटिकल बात नहीं, एवरीबडी वांट द रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड एंड उनको सक्सेस स्टोरी वाला ला दो। मैं तो बोलता हूँ हर 5 दिन में सक्सेस स्टोरी वाला ला दो। पैसे वाले तो आप लोग हैं, पैसे की तो कमी नहीं होने देंगे, सक्सेस वाला ला दो। और दूसरी बात यह है कि जो मार्केटिंग है वो सबसे बड़ी, मैं आपको बताऊं, एनी स्टार्टअप द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज स्केल अप एंड मार्केटिंग। तो स्केल अप एंड मार्केट, गुजरात गवर्नमेंट में तो हमने बोल दिया है कि अगर आप 5 लाख रुपया हमें स्टार्टअप में पास करते हो, 50 लाख करके हमें स्टार्टअप इंडिया का सर्टिफिकेट देते हो तो हमारी आइटम क्यों नहीं लेते हो आप? एक एक आइटम तो गवर्नमेंट ले लो, तो एटलीस्ट वो बोल सके कि भाई हमने गुजरात गवर्नमेंट को दिया है। मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि हमें ग्लोबली और उसमें इस तरह से थोड़े चेंजेस लाना है कि हमारे टाई का इंपॉर्टेंस बढ़ाने के लिए गवर्नमेंट आई हब है, गवर्नमेंट के कोई भी इनोवेटिव यहाँ कमिटी है, टाई के तीनों चैप्टर में से कोई नहीं है, वो नहीं है तो नहीं चले। ऐसे जैसे चैम्बर चला रहे तो चैम्बर में अगर हमारा प्रतिनिधि अगर वाइब्रेंट गुजरात में नहीं है तो वाइब्रेंट गुजरात बंद करा देना पड़े, तो वो स्ट्रेंथ हमारी होनी चाहिए टाई की। दैट इज माय फीलिंग।
Great. So Jay bhai, I want to come to you, Indore. So what's happening in Indore in last 6-7 years? Why I'm emphasizing 7 years, I just wanted to tell you because between 2011 to 2014-15, I was traveling and was checking how many angel networks are there. And there were only 2 or 3 angel networks in existence. And there were 50 to 100 people in NCR, 50 to 100 people in South Mumbai, and there were almost about 50 people in Bangalore that were controlling the entire ecosystem of investing in startups. So now in 7 years, what has changed in these cities or tier 2, tier 3, where practically I don't know whether 7 years before there was any angel investor in Indore, and what has changed? Because I think you are associated with TiE also and you have other investing things also. So Jay, what is your take on that and how have you seen that happening?
Am I audible? So, Gaurav bhai, थोड़ा सा मैं इंदौर के बारे में पहले बताना चाहूँगा and then we'll move to the questions. इंदौर कैसे change हो रहा है? So, इंदौर पहले से ही entrepreneurship के लिए काफ़ी जाना जाता है। वहाँ पे business mindset और idea मतलब बचपन से दिमाग में होता है कि हम हमारे फादर का बिजनेस करेंगे या कुछ नया सेटअप करेंगे। इंदौर में सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है कि इंदौर का जो टेस्टिंग मार्केट होता था बॉलीवुड के लिए भी, तो अगर आपको याद हो तो थर्सडे द मूवी वाज रिलीजिंग ओवर देयर, इट वाज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट टेस्ट मार्केट एंड इंदौर इज नाउ एवरीबडी नोज अबाउट द क्लीनेस्ट सिटी रिकॉर्ड में, तो मतलब कॉन्जिक्यूटिवली वी आर द विनर्स। सो इट हैज़ गॉट अ लाइफ स्टाइल चेंजेस इन एवरीथिंग। सो द क्वेश्चन ये था जो 6-7 साल में जो डिफ्रेंशिएशन आया है वो काफ़ी आया है। सो 6-7 साल पहले अगर हम बात करें मेंटरिंग के लिए तो द टिक मार्क्स वाज देयर, ओके फाइन, ओनली द फ्यू मेंटर्स वर देयर। If we talk about that, अच्छा मुझे मेरा एक स्टार्टअप डालना है, so can I have a support from my parents? So the people पहले जो होते थे और हमारे टाइम पे तो होता था अच्छा क्यों पैसा डुबोएगा, और अब जो टिक मार्क होता है हाँ पेरेंट्स आर सपोर्टिंग ऑन इट। सिमिलरली फ्रॉम रिलेटिव्स, सिमिलरली फ्रॉम द फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिलीज आर अवेयर अबाउट इट। सो वो सारी चीज़ों का एक परसेप्शन का काफ़ी चेंज हुआ है और उसमें काफ़ी सारे जो फैमिली हाउसेज हैं इंदौर में उनमें भी माइंडसेट में काफ़ी चेंज आया। जो 7-8 साल पहले मैं इनके पास जाता था, चलो स्टार्टअप में हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो बोलते थे यार क्यों करेंगे यार, जो इसमें मज़ा नहीं है, इसमें लॉस होता है। एंड देन फाइनली थैंक्स फॉर वी फाउंडर सर्कल, वेंचर कैटलिस्ट एंड लॉट ऑफ अदर पीपल हैज कम, दे स्टार्टेड टेलिंग अबाउट एंड क्रिएटिंग एन अवेयरनेस अबाउट कि एंजल इन्वेस्टमेंट किस तरीके से होता है, स्टार्टअप्स कैसे होता है। तो स्टार्टअप्स पहले कोई समझता ही नहीं था, अब स्टार्टअप्स काफ़ी इंदौर में समझने लगे हैं और जो इन्वेस्टमेंट का एंगल है नाउ द पीपल आर लुकिंग इट, काफ़ी चेंज आया है। एंड स्पेशली अभी अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ लास्ट करीबन 8 साल में आई एम कंटिन्यूसली वर्किंग विद अ लॉट ऑफ फैमिली हाउसेस, सो उनके माइंडसेट में अब काफ़ी चेंज आया है। नेक्स्ट जनरेशन अब ऑल्टरनेटिव फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहती है, सो उसमें से एक स्टार्टअप एक सबसे बड़ा एंगल है। एंड स्पेशली पोस्ट कोविड इट हैज़ गॉट अ ट्रेमेंडस चेंज बिकॉज नेटवर्क में काफ़ी फर्क आया है एंड नाउ द पीपल आर विलिंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन टू द लॉट ऑफ इन द स्टार्टअप्स ग्रोथ कैपिटल एज वेल एज नाउ मेनी ऑफ द फैमिली हाउसेज इंटरेस्टेड टू फंड ऑफ फंड। So वो भी एक काफ़ी चेंजेस आया गौरव भाई।
Perfect. So Ravi, Vizag, it's a wonderful city and I love that city. So what's your 6-7 years journey? Because I've been there for 4-5 times.
Okay, thanks Gaurav, thanks Surat for having me here. I think this is a celebration of Tier 2's arrival on the startup ecosystem. This shows. Vizag was always overshadowed before the split of Andhra Pradesh into Telangana and AP, the new AP, by Hyderabad. So we were always overshadowed by a Tier 1 city. So there was not much of concentration by the government. Once the state split, then suddenly the new government woke up and said, wow, we don't have anything that we have to talk of. And Vizag still is good enough. It's after Surat, 10th on the GDP. So but not into IT because it gets flack for not being competitive enough with Hyderabad. But we had this We have a great ports and logistics, marine, heavy engineering, pharma, petrochemical, and other stuff. So then the government started, the previous government started a big way into the ecosystem, led by, again, we started TiE in 2017, 18 time frame, built a huge incubation ecosystems there. We did huge events, like we wanted to make it a fintech capital. We did everything. There were federal bank and a lot of people coming in. And then elections and the government changed. Then everything went downhill for a certain period of time, and then COVID hit. So when Kashyap bhai was talking that it was ideation, then validation, now when I took over TiE last year, we are going to the valley of death. More or less Murli and Vijay calling up and telling us, okay, you don't have enough number of people, it's for now, we would probably close this chapter. So you're done, you're dead. So then that's when we started, so I myself was with Tech Mahindra. I moved out then because I call myself stupidly emotionally attached to this place called Vizag. So born, brought up there, wanted to give back, so stayed there. Then I also associated myself with TiE along with the university incubator. Then put in all the effort that we could in reviving the whole ecosystem. And over the last 2 years or so, things have changed. 2-3 things that really happened. One was during the previous government, there was something called AMTZ, Andhra MedTech Zone, which is the Asia's largest MedTech. This thing has a unicorn. Vizag's or AP's best kept secret, Mall Bio has a unicorn there, and there is a 9,000 crore cluster, which now Mr. Gadkari wants to replicate it in UP. So that was one thing that TiE leveraged. We kept our office out there and then started. I also became a CEO of a local university incubator. Started even talking back to these startups which initially started off in Vizag or in AP, moved to Hyderabad, to T-hubs and other places because there was not enough of an ecosystem out here. So then created the whole thing. Largely it's 3 M's, which is mentoring, market access, and money, access to money. These are 3 things that we would need. So infrastructure would come in. So we built that whole thing and then started. Today, we have 46 incubators. Just my incubation center, we have 154. We are into space tech. We are semiconductors. Again, the makers labs, things to, like previously, if you had to build an IoT product and get it tested and validated, you have to come all the way to Gujarat. So when you don't have enough money also within the government to invest, then we got the NASCOM Centers of Excellence. The STPI has, for example, 66 incubation centers across the globe. It has it in Vijayawada, in Kakinada, in Tirupati, but not in Vizag. So then I said, university, I talked to them, said, give them an acre of land in the heart of the city, and now they are investing about 58 crores, phase 1, 25,000 to 70,000 square feet. So just in the university, we're building a 2 lakh square feet of. Currently have about 154, 146 revenue generating. Seeing that now I have, in the last 2-3 weeks, I had 2 or 3 T-hub incubator startups reverse migrating. Then now comes a Telugu association. I have Jito coming in and committing about 10 crores, the local business ecosystem saying that, okay, we would invest into the local ecosystem. Then last is we had a Telugu association, because again, you do that camaraderie, right? Just like Saab was talking about Gujarat, this thing. Yes, that's what Rajasthan, Gujarat being ahead is that also that camaraderie that is there in helping each other out. So these people are coming on the 19th set of people who have made it big in the IT space, have had exits, coming back and committing for some amount of investments, asking me to shortlist about 10 at least, probably it will go forward and then invest. Trying to recreate that confidence, but we are still in that initial stage. We are still a long way to go. So, but we're doing our stuff. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. So, before we go to the next question, 2016 in Surat, practically no funded startup. Today, almost about 17 or 18 funded startup. 2016, there was no angel investors. Today, almost about 750 angel investors, and there are 6 to 7, active angel groups working in Surat. So that's the significant, progress which has happened in Surat in last almost about 6-7 years. So SK, I wanted to ask you, because I think you touched upon very interesting thing. Surat doesn't have an IIT. Surat doesn't have an IIM. Surat doesn't have an AIMS. Surat doesn't have a NIFT. Surat doesn't have a law college, the National Law College. We don't have all the 5 premium institutions which is required for any city. We don't have. We are representing it. I am always fighting for it that we should be having that. Now they are allowed to have second in the state, so practically. So when you are saying that you have 2 IITs very close to you, what do you think that whether it helps a city, coming up as a startup city, getting a right set of right set of founders, because these premium institutions and other. What is your take on that? Because fortunately in Chandigarh, you are surrounded with a great, universities and colleges.
So I think I heard the feedback of everyone here. I think tier 2, tier 3. So I understand that every city have its own problems, but its own advantages also sometimes, right? So Chandigarh has an advantage on one side, so being a part of UT and 3 different states touches within few kilometers. So that's how we were able to actually get that. So when we started, this chapter was incepted in I think 2003. And what we are seeing in around during the COVID period, our members count has almost gone dip to almost half of what we stand today, right? So what we are doing is to make sure that catalyst element is added by TiE. So we are doing the work at the ground level. So wherein I think in the last panel discussion, so it was the point how involved you are, how active a CM is ready to accept that charter, which is to give back. So when you give back, the universal law says you will get in return anywhere. So we are working at the school level. In the TY program, we were also awarded as the best chapter for working with the young professionals, right? So that is the element that needs to be there. There might be the chance there is no IIT or IIM or any other institutes, but there would still be the schools at that level, the colleges, the campuses. So like sir, I think rightly said, how the government we can have a stay in the government point. So wherein government says, okay, if TiE is saying that, we can do that, right? So last week, so we had so I was telling you this event, so wherein all the 3 state governments were there and TiE was one of the organizers, right? So you have to make sure you add a value through your actions, through your events or through your activities somewhere, right? So adding those will always, because once I think I remember that line, so I think you just start the journey, people will keep on adding up. So that's the point that needs to be done there.
So perfect. So I think we need to work as a TiE as a catalyst for that, and as to evolve people. I think a startup should be and the founder should be getting that kind of a conducive environment here. So Vinay, I wanted to ask you, because you come from an Udaipur, it's not so technology city, but you are in that business and you have multiple manufacturing units also across world also. What do you think that as a city, when you don't have a flavor of technology and those kind of things, what other things can help? Like Surat is not primarily a technology city. It's a diamond and a textile city. Now, fortunately, some technology companies are coming. What do you think? What works in those cities which are not dominantly a technology-driven cities?
So in a city like Udaipur, which is not a technology-driven city, but still we have a few startups which are technology-based. The largest startup what we have was like they were building e-commerce platform for other companies, and then they thought that why not build it for themselves. So it was a technology company which was based in Udaipur, and they started something like a wooden street, so which is valued more than 3,000, 4,000 crore rupees from Udaipur. Then there's another one there's a company called EF Polymer. So they started the company when they were students in a government college. And like today they are funded by a Japanese fund, and so they have hired a few scientists in Japan, and the guys are from village. So if you see them, and the father of the starter, he was a farmer. So it is like really heartening from where they have come, and they are doing really technological products. And I can speak from my experience. Like our company, which is based in Udaipur, and we supply worldwide. So our company is also one of the largest in our field of products, and we opened our companies in Germany, Indonesia, Dubai. So I think it is not the city. So I would say that even smaller cities is an advantage. You can find talent who would like to live in that city. So we can use that as an advantage rather than as a disadvantage. So you can attract local people who can come back, who would like to come back to the city and use it as for the working and growth. Yeah.
थैंक यू ने
Thank you.
सो नीलेश भाई बहुत सारे जब स्टार्टअप सिटीज़ में मैं गया तो एक बहुत बिग डिफरेंट तरह की बात आई कि लैंग्वेज एक बहुत बड़ा बैरियर है. मतलब यदि मैं स्टार्टअप फाउंडर से बात कर रहा हूँ बिलासपुर में तो उनको ऐसा लगता है कि जो इंटरनेशनल वीसीज हैं या बड़े वीसीज हैं, बड़े पैसे वाले जो फंड हैं, वो इंग्लिश में ही प्रेजेंटेशन करते हैं. तो क्योंकि इंडिया एक ऐसा कंट्री है जो कि बहुत ही जहाँ पे ऑलमोस्ट अबाउट 20 लैंग्वेजेस बोली जाती, 20 बहुत ज़्यादा लैंग्वेज बोली जाती, बट एक्टिव 20 लैंग्वेजेस हैं. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इसके अंदर यदि लैंग्वेज का क्या रोल है और क्या स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स जो कि बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं, गुजराती मीडियम के बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं या हिंदी मीडियम के बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं या और भी रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस के बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं, उनका क्या, उनके लिए क्या किया जाना चाहिए या क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है उस बात की?
लास्ट टाइकॉन जब सूरत में हुआ था तभी भी मैंने यही बात की थी, एक मेरे मन में थी कि आजकल क्या हो गया है कि प्रॉपर प्रेजेंटेशन बनाओ इंग्लिश में. जैसे मैंने लास्ट टाइम बोला था, सब हंसने लगे थे कि फिर ब्ला 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 करके बताओ और फिर हम अपना 1 by 1 प्रेजेंटेशन स्लाइड वो करते हैं और वो होता है. ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग, द बेसिक नॉलेज, आई गिव यू वन स्मॉल एग्जाम्पल. इंडियन रेलवे, उन्होंने मुझे आके बताया कि भाई हमें 64 आइटम्स जो है उनको इजी करनी है. जैसे कि गार्ड के पीछे वो पीटी रखते थे, दोनों उनको बंद करने के लिए उनके जो हैमर, जिस तरह से इंस्ट्रूमेंट, आप मानोगे नहीं. आई रिक्वेस्ट इन द वाइब्रेंट गुजरात, अंडर माय यूनिफाइड ग्रोथ फाउंडेशन, माय ओन फाउंडेशन, रेलवे ने मुझे दिया, मैंने वहाँ रखा और जितनी भी आइटम थी उसमें से 68 पीपल फ्रॉम राजकोट एंड सौराष्ट्र. આમાં શું છે, આ તો અમે આમાં અહીં નાખીને હાઇડ્રોલિક કરી દઈશું એટલે આમ ઊભું થઈ જશે, આ થઈ જશે ને. બેઝિકલી what I mean to say, they have knowledge, they have power. In past also, when the Reliance की जगह IPCL था, when vendor registration also in at that time in English में होता था. और जब मैंने वहाँ हमारे वहाँ एग्जीबिशन में रखा था और बताया तो वहाँ के चेयरमैन आए, अरे वाह, ये तो पूरा सूट जो है वो तो हमारे वहाँ आता है और ये बॉम्बे से आता है. मैंने बताया सर ये बनता यहाँ है देसाई ट्रेडिंग में, बट वो रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं कर सकता है. तमिलनाडु के अंदर हमारे ही टाइम में वहाँ वर्नाकुलम लैंग्वेज में वो काम करते हैं और 1000 एसोसिएट मेंबर वहाँ है टाइम में ही. तो दैट इज द स्ट्रेंथ. हमारे यहाँ ये हमें थोड़ा ढांचा बदलना जरूरी है. मैं तो बहुत दिल से मानता हूँ लैंग्वेज इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट. द इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, आपके बॉस्टन की एक मैंने फिल्म दिखी थी कामदा जी, और वहाँ उसमें कोई हमारी गुजराती लेडी ने लड्डू बनाए थे यार, ऐसा कुछ था, और उसमें दिखाया था और लोग हंसते थे. और वही आपकी फिल्म में बताया था कि हंसने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, एंड नाउ शी इज डूइंग द वेल बिजनेस. तो लैंग्वेज का जो है वो निकालो. आजकल लैंग्वेज से कोई प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं है. बहुत सारे एक लैंग्वेज को ट्रांसलेट करना इतना कोई डिफ़िकल्ट भी नहीं है, तो वो हो जाता है. बट हमारी जो हर एक नॉर्मल, मैं ऑनेस्टली बताऊं, देर आर सर्टन स्टार्टअप इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स की वजह से वो कभी कभी आ नहीं सकते. बाय हार्ट बोलो यहाँ जो भी है तो ये हो सकता है और हुआ है. उनके पास नॉलेज है, उनके पास स्ट्रेंथ है, उनके पास सब कुछ है, बट वो डरता है कि मैं जाके मुझे, क्योंकि हमारे वहाँ जो आप लोग बैठे हैं पैसे देने वाले, फटाक करके सवाल ऐसे कर देते हैं इसमें क्या होगा, इसका बेनिफिट, फटाफट करके इंग्लिश में 4 सवाल कर दिए, वो बेचारा डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है। बट एक थिंग यहाँ जो बैठे हैं उनको एक मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ कि यू आर वेरी लक्की दैट योर नेक्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट इज दिस पर्सन, कि जो हार्डकोर समझ रहा है। दूसरी बात मैं आपसे ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि सूरत में यहाँ जो बैठे हैं, चाहे टाई के मेंबर है कि नहीं, हर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हर एक कोई न कोई वहाँ की वो होती है, बट मैक्सिमम एसोसिएट मेंबर बनो, मैक्सिमम आप टाई के चार्टर मेंबर नहीं है तो एलिजिबिलिटी अपनी बता के करो। और रियल में फ्यूचर इज ओनली जो हमारा है, ये नया स्टार्टअप हो, नया स्केलअप। बट टाइम है एक, सर ये गुजराती लैंग्वेज के साथ अभी आप आने वाले हो तो आप बताओ कि स्टार्टअप की जगह स्केलअप की बात करो। अभी आई रियली अप्रिशिएट पूना के देश पांडे जी को, किरण देश पांडे जी को, कि वो स्केलअप की बात करते हैं और हम लोग बहुत अच्छी तरह से चाहते हैं कि अभी स्केलअप वाले, बिकॉज मैक्सिमम लोग ये कर रहे हैं। और मेरा लास्ट एक ही चीज़ कहना है कि जो अगले सवाल में आपने बोला था कि टियर 2 को क्या किया जाए ग्लोबल में, एक सुझाव दे दो कि बहुत सारे अवार्ड आप कर रहे हो, टाई बेस्ट चैप्टर, टाई ये चैप्टर, एक अवार्ड ऐसा डाल दो कि चाहे बेस्ट चैप्टर टू सपोर्ट टियर 2 चैप्टर, तो अपने आप सब लोग हेल्प करने लगेंगे।
थैंक यू नीलेश की बात की। और बहुत सारे एंजल नेटवर्क्स हुए हैं और इंदौर में आई नो कि वहाँ पे बहुत सारी कम्युनिटीज़ डेवलप हैं। आपको क्या लगता है कि टियर 2s के लिए क्या ये कोलैबोरेशन, ये कम्युनिटीज़ की जो वर्किंग है, ये हेल्प करती है? बिकॉज मैंने देखा है कि सूरत में ये बहुत ज़बरदस्त तरीके से हेल्प की है, जिस तरह से हम लोगों ने कोलैबोरेटिव तरीके से, महावीर वॉज ऑल्सो टॉकिंग की हम उनके इवेंट में थे, वो हमारे इवेंट में थे और को एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, मतलब को एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, कोई कॉम्पिटिशन नहीं है। So what do you think in Indore in tier 2s? What is your experience about that?
नहीं, गौरव, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट। टियर 2 सिटीज़ में कम्युनिटीज़ का बहुत इन्फ्लुएंस है। सो अगर इंदौर देखा जाए तो 3 कम्युनिटी काफ़ी स्ट्रांगली एंजल इन्वेस्टिंग कर रही है, स्टार्टअप्स में काफ़ी एक्टिव हो रही है। एक जैन है, एक अग्रवाल है, माहेश्वरी, तीनों कम्युनिटीज़ काफ़ी है। जैन में तो जीतो इज़ वेरी वेरी एक्टिव इन इंदौर एज वेल। सो उसमें काफ़ी सारे लोग हैं। सबसे बड़ा फ़र्क पड़ता है कम्युनिटी का, एक दूसरे को जानते हैं, एक दूसरे से मिलते हैं। सो बड़ी इजीली हो जाता है, अच्छा मैं इस स्टार्टअप में पैसा डाल रहा हूँ, क्या मैं कंफर्टेबल हूँ क्या इसमें, तो वो एक दूसरे से पूछता है। वो जो पूछना होता है वो एक इन्फॉर्मेशन का तरीका है, उससे उनको ईजी हो जाता है कि हाँ ये कंफर्टेबल जोन है। अच्छा ठीक है, नीलेश भाई ने पैसा डाल रहे हैं तो मैं भी डाल देता हूँ। तो वो जो एक कंफर्ट जोन होता है उस कम्युनिटी का बहुत फ़र्क पड़ता है। दूसरा, कम्युनिटी कहीं ना कहीं बाउंडेड है कि किस टाइप के स्टार्टअप्स चल रहे हैं पॉपुलर मार्केट में, वो एक दूसरे को किस तरीके से सपोर्ट करते हैं। और दूसरा, कम्युनिटी में काफ़ी सारी और भी एक्टिविटीज़ होती है। इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट कि क्या कहते हैं स्टार्टअप्स है, लेकिन वो एक दूसरे को जो जानने के कारण होता है उससे उनको काफ़ी सपोर्ट मिलता है। और उसके कारण अभी सभी कम्युनिटीज़ में छोटे छोटे ग्रुप बन गए हैं जो डेडिकेटेड हो गए। अच्छा हम 25 एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, हम मिलकर इतना पैसा डालेंगे, हम 50 एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं। और अभी हमने वही ट्रेंड को ट्रैक किया है, स्पेशली जब हम अभी फैमिली ऑफिस के साथ ज़्यादा मिलने लगे हैं, तो उन्होंने इसी तरीके के ट्रेंड को कराया। अच्छा ठीक है, हम एक पूरा का पूरा ग्रुप बनाते हैं। और मेरे ख्याल से वही एक इनिशिएटिव है, और कहीं ना कहीं हम सूरत से इन्फ्लुएंस हैं। सूरत जैसा इंस्पायर कर रहा है, इंदौर भी उसी राह पर है।
थैंक यू। मेरे को तो लगता है कि अभी टाई, जैसा कि महावीर ने भी बताया कि टाई सूरत will make sure that TiE Angel Surat will bring some great startups and we will invest also. So रवि, मैं आज आखिरी सवाल आपसे पूछूंगा for the limitation of time, that because आपने एक जर्नी ट्रैवल की है from a corporate person where you have seen a transition of a company going to Tech Mahindra and all. What do you think that the mentoring, the role of a mentor in scaling up of startup? So supposingly in a economy like a Surat or Vizag or any other, if you get those kind of mentors, those who can help startup rather than capital. Capital is one thing, but beyond capital, early stage companies need more things. So what do you think that where TiE can play a role in this kind of a mentoring thing, where they can create that kind of thing? So what's your take on that?
Oh, I think that's the most critical part. I think we get always blinded by the thought that it's funding, it's market access and other stuff. But having a right mentor, because right from entry to exit, if it's not working, pivoting or exit, all this stuff is what a mentor will tell you the right things to do. Whether you take it or not, but it's basically the mentor that would become a very critical input into your success story. Without these mentors, most of these, usually the early stage startups, probably because of sometimes emotional connect, continue to be attached to that specific problem area, which probably does. Giving back is what is missing in those institutions where we bring, that is our USP. I think that's what makes us TiE different.
So thank you everyone. And TiE brings ecosystem capital, mentoring capital, we bring, network capital. And beyond that, we bring financial capital also. So that's what TiE brings. So I think thank you everyone. Thank you for your thoughts and comments. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I think we could clap a little more. What a fantastic session. Thank you so very much. One little round of applause never hurt anybody. See, I also don't like pestering you again and again, right? So if I say once to clap and you clap, I don't have to say a second time. All right. So I have come as a news reporter this time, and I have a bulletin to share with everybody. Freshly out of the oven, or should I say cabinet, we have got a news that all flying with TiE, Surat is also about to fly. So the Narendra Modi government today declared Surat Airport as the international airport, and flights to Dubai will be starting soon. So right after you're done attending TiECon, yeah, the bookings are on. So as soon as you're done attending TiECon 2023 tomorrow, you can book your tickets and fly to Dubai right from our city. Congratulations, everybody. This deserves a round of applause. And I'm not going further without it. All right. Since we have so much to be thankful for, I would like to express our gratitude for our gifting partners. Thank you, Dreamchild, Call, Zoivan Pets, The First Aid, Holistica, Alpino, and I Am Surat City. These hefty bags that you see, that we have so dearly talked about today, they are from our gifting partners, so thank you so much. Moving further, I would also like to mention one little piece of insight, that TiE has inspired us to always go above and beyond. And that is why TiECon is not just about ideas. It's about making a positive impact on the environment. Continuing our tradition from TiECon Surat 2022, this year as well, TiECon Surat 2023 is carbon neutral. We would like to thank Growlity, our ESG partner, who has helped us to remain carbon neutral. We have gone the extra mile to account for and offset emissions associated with waste generation, ensuring a zero waste and a carbon neutral event. One last time, I'll make you clap again because I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to these members. This event would not have been possible without the culmination of the efforts of our chartered members, associate members, student members, TiE women, TiE young entrepreneurs under the leadership of Mr. Rohan Desai. One round of applause for all of these people and for Mr. Rohan for making this happen. We are all here today because of these people. Mr. Rohan Desai, the man of the hour. Can we have a round of applause? And before we move to the last leg of the event, I would also like to mention that although तालियों में थोड़ी कंजूसी आप लोग करते हो, but we had a great participation in the quiz we played by Logic Wind. So here's to Logic Wind for everything they have done, and here's to our audience who participated with all their hearts. खुद के लिए तालियां तो बजा सकते हैं हम. We can clap for ourselves, can we? All the people at the end, please. A little more energy. Make some noise, truly. Yes.
And a big round of applause for our MC.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Moving further, I would like to conclude the event by inviting upon the stage Mr. Sanjay Punjabi. Mr. Sanjay Punjabi is the founder president of TiE Surat, and he would be, Mr. Sanjay Punjabi, do we have you here? Oh, he's always here. He is going to deliver the vote of thanks, and he's going to share the agenda for the upcoming day. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you, Gungun. Good evening to all. So I can say that I am one of the happiest person in this hall who can feel absolutely blessed to see the result of the journey for TiECon Surat, which many of the founder which are present over here, including myself, is the sheer result of our efforts, paved the way to the till date where Surat is recognized and well appreciated for the focused approach for the startup and entrepreneurs community, where many stakeholders working together for the TiE platform. Friends, normally by the 15th of December, Gita Jayanti has been celebrated. And Gita is nothing but dialogues between a mentee and mentor. So here I would like to quote a sloka from Bhagavad Gita that says that Tasmas dasaska satat karya karma samakara ashakto yacharna karma paronat panti purusha. That says that inculcate the habit of being open to everything and being attached to nothing. Attachment does give us strength, but it also limits us and makes our journey and growth difficult. We cannot wear binoculars and run the race. So this is that the thinking of that empowering entrepreneurs 2.0. So here with that, I am privileged to propose a vote of thanks. Behalf of TiECon Surat, we express our sincere gratitude to TiE Global, especially to Vice Chairman Rakesh Kamdar, to be with us and gave us an opportunity to interact with one of all of us. And we are convinced that TiE Global has paved the way for the TiE Surat for global entrepreneurship ecosystem, as our 3 TiE Women Chapter winners have raised the fund for their ventures up to $10 million. We equally extend our gratitude to TiE Global board member and past president TiE New York, Dharti Desai, for being with us again and observing and guiding us for the woman entrepreneurship. We always cherish the special bond with Mahavir Pratap Sharma, who is friend, philosopher and guide for the TiE Surat. We have seen his contribution in shaping the TiE Surat. This is the golden moment where we can come up and say big thank you to you, and we wish you that you guide us in our journey further. We are equally thankful to all chapter presidents who have accepted our invitation and join us for the TiECon 2023. Thanks to dear friend Nilesh Shukla of TiE Vadodara president, who recently concluded a wonderful TiECon a few weeks ago. Thanks to Vinay Rathi of TiE Udaipur president, Jay Jain, TiE MP president, Ravi Ishwarpu, TiE Vizag president, SK Arora, TiE Chandigarh president, for their presence today with us. And we want August audience to note that all these presidents are from Tier 2 Indian cities where startup communities are started emerging, and many wonderful ventures are incubated by these cities. And coming time, we may see a contribution flow of emerging innovative businesses from these cities. Sponsors are the backbone to any event. And for this caliber, we recognize the financial support extended by main sponsor Jainam, Milan Parikh of Jainam, truly infused the Jan in this event, and we are thankful to you. Equally, we express our thanks to our associate sponsors, Anupam Rasayan, 5C Venture Builders, for extending kind support for the TiECon. Anand Desai is a charter member, and very well connected Surat personality, who is always a call away for any support. We equally thankful to our legal partner, Lexicon Legal, for wholehearted support. We extend our special thanks to Apex body of this region, the Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, SGCCI, for being with us as supporting institute. Very special thanks to our own Sonal Bihani of Basic Root Consulting as knowledge partner. Ilemanja, we are thankful to you for being WhatsApp partner and extending valuable services. So as we are grateful to our own Puneet Gajera of Visitors IO for registration partner. We kindly note that TiECon Surat is only event which carbon neutral, and for the same we owe the special mention and thanks to our charter member Nitin Dumasia of Globality. Very specially we mentioned we have a quiz, an AI partner, and that is none other than our own charter member Nachiket Patel of LogicWin. Very special thanks to Hetal Soni of Faisal Institute of Regeneration Medicine as gifting partner, and gratitude to Flower Hub for being flower partner. We are thankful to our community partners, BNI Greater Surat, Corporate Connection and DLC Surat. TiE Surat extend its heartfelt thanks to the funding partners, which include, I think it deserves that the crux of this total TiECon, where that many VCs are here. Fauci Venture Builders, Java Capital, Unisync Angels, Ivy Growth Associates, Endurance Capital, Air Ventures, Venture Garage, Fundgini.com, Goa Angel Network, Startup Exceed, India Accelerator, Marwari Catalyst, Javco Asia, 100X, Trafficta Capital, Venture Wolf, Lead Angels, Dolokia Ventures, Veda VC, V Founder Circle, Escape Velocity, Growth Sense. TiE Surat extend sincere gratitude for all speakers, panelists, masterclass faculties, funding partners who have come all the way from various cities to be part of this event. We request you to go through the detailed program for tomorrow, which has many dimensions. Plenary sessions, startup pavilion, pitch sessions, investor launch, masterclass, and networking all around in all lobbies during the spaces of TiECon 2023. How we can forget the people who have contributed tirelessly behind the scene for TiECon Surat 2023. And friends, please hold your breath for a few minutes as I aptly invite TiE Surat President Kashyap. Kashyap, please come here. Kashyap here to announce the names of the people behind TiECon and their contribution in brief. We express our gratitude for each one of them. As Kashyap walks to the podium, I reiterate by remembering Dushyant Kumar words which are apt for this event. सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना हमारा मकसद नहीं, हमारी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए. मेरे सीने में ना सही तो तेरे सीने में सही, हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए.